evening once again. Time for a quick weather check. We have clear to partly cloudy skies out there tonight. It's not going to rain if you're heading out for a Friday night event, but it will be chilly when you wake up in the morning. Kind of muggy out there right now. Low-level moisture will eventually turn into some fog and some clouds to start off your Saturday, but no rain for tomorrow and maybe some afternoon sunshine. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Marciano. World News Tonight is next.
World News Tonight, staggering news about the job market. The worst month in 20 years. What will the Bush administration do about it? What's a governor to do when he hears there's a threat to his bridges when the California governor went public? What's the mayor of New York to do? He has the firefighters very angry. To Kandahar and back with the Taliban, our correspondent's diary, and the energetic sound of patriotism. There's a run on Sousa and Irving Berlin.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin tonight with the economy and pressure. The pressure on the Bush administration and the Congress to do something about the economy, and it certainly increased today because the carnage in the job market last month was worse than expected and as bad as it has been for 1 month since Jimmy Carter's presidency in 1980. American companies cut 415,000 jobs last month, and the unemployment rate for October jumped 0.5% to 5.4%. ABC's Betsy Stark is here with the details. There is no sector of the economy that was spared.
That's right, Peter. One economist said today this report screams recession. It also demonstrates what happens when a weak economy gets a body blow, as it did on September 11th. Job losses deepened in every sector of the economy. 111,000 workers lost their jobs in the service sector last month, the biggest drop the Labor Department has ever recorded for that industry. Trudy Cohen lost hers. The former receptionist says there are fewer help wanted ads now and few replies to the resumes she keeps sending.
I don't see many companies hiring people that do what I do. I don't see a big run on administrative assistants.
Manufacturing workers were once again hardest hit, 142,000 jobs eliminated. Retailers, normally hiring holiday help in October, cut workers instead, 81,000 of them. Losses continued to mount in the airline, restaurant, and hotel industries.
God bless. Take care.
There was a rally for the unemployed on Capitol Hill today. They don't see anything happening in Congress that's good for them. Shawneen Foley, a lifelong hotel worker, now out of work, is angry.
I love this. They want us to keep spending, get out there and spend. And with what? With what?
This increase in the unemployment rate here in October just couldn't be worse timing, because here in the fourth quarter there's lots of holiday spending, and people certainly are going to be more cautious if they're losing their jobs.
Particularly vulnerable among the 7.7 million Americans now out of work are the 4.5 million who do not qualify for unemployment insurance, including many low-income and part-time workers.
There's no guarantee that you'll receive unemployment insurance if you're laid off from work. The eligibility requirements are fairly stringent, and they vary dramatically from state to state.
Vincent Wu is ineligible for benefits. The laid-off American Airlines flight attendant had been in his job 5 months when he was let go.
I pay my tax and everything. I should get my benefit. I don't know why I didn't get my benefit.
In the aftermath of September 11th, President Bush promised to extend unemployment benefits, but in such limited instances, most of the uninsured would still not be covered, Peter.
Many thanks, Betsy Stark, on today's bad economic numbers. Now go to California. In California today, there was a great deal more security at 4 of the state's most famous bridges. Today, Governor Davis defended his decision to announce yesterday that there was a credible threat to the bridges. There's been a lot of debate about whether he needed to tell everyone. It's a difficult question for any public servant. ABC's Judy Muller is at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. So how has the day after been?
Well, Peter, traffic has been unusually light on the Golden Gate Bridge today. No surprise, perhaps, given the governor's warning that this bridge and others in the state might be the targets of a terrorist attack. At the request of Governor Davis, National Guard troops arrived in the early morning hours to help with security.
They'll be assisting us with the eyes and ears of watching the bridge.
Many commuters welcomed the show of force.
I'm just really scared. Yeah, I'm just really scared.
Actually, heightened security around bridges has been in place for weeks, from the Coast Guard in the Bay to the Highway Patrol on the roads.
Copy.
And how do they feel about the governor's warning of a potential threat?
I think it's a good information. I think people have to come to the realization things aren't as they used to be.
This particular threat was told to a U.S. Customs agent by a source who heard it from a friend in Libya. Not everyone has been supportive of the governor's decision to go public with a threat the FBI's characterized as uncorroborated and meant only for law enforcement.
Obviously, Governor Davis thought that one thing that he could do to enhance the security of people using those bridges was to make a public announcement. We did not encourage him to do so.
Davis has been defending his decision.
We get briefings almost every day, but this one was time-specific and location-specific. And I felt it was appropriate to tell people what I was doing to prepare for that threat and to fully inform them.
Even the commuters who cross these bridges every day are conflicted.
Certainly, I think the public should have a right to know the truth.
Even if it's not corroborated?
That's a tough call. I don't know.
The FBI receives hundreds of such threats. The problem is that there's no protocol in place for how or even if such vague information should be released. Peter?
Thanks, Judy. As the young man said, it is a tough call. On Capitol Hill today, several of the country's leading health officials testified about smallpox. The highly contagious virus would be a far more serious threat than anthrax. Americans are no longer vaccinated for smallpox, and the government does not have enough vaccine on hand if it thinks that everybody needs to be vaccinated. Here's ABC's John McKenzie.
Remember that when pushed 15 times, it doesn't hurt like a needle injection.
At St. Louis University this afternoon, Scott Maris was among the first volunteers to get a smallpox vaccine. He's part of a study to see whether the vaccine can be diluted, stretching the country's existing stockpile of 15 million doses.
Based on our previous data, we anticipate being able to stretch the nation's vaccine supply perhaps fivefold. That would be 75 million doses.
The government says that's not enough, so health officials are now pushing manufacturers to start large-scale production of a whole new smallpox vaccine. In Congress today, some senators were openly impatient.
The fastest that we will have a full 300 million doses for the entire population is roughly by the third quarter of next year.
Dr. LeDuc, that's not adequate.
That's as fast as it can be made.
The vaccine itself can have severe side effects. When last used routinely about 30 years ago, it killed up to 6 out of every 1 million people vaccinated.
It may be that those risks should be acceptable. I would not deny that at all. It is entirely conceivable that we will have to accept those risks and vaccinate people.
But health officials say not yet. Not unless they see a case of the disease or credible intelligence that someone's planning a smallpox attack. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
To the campaign in Afghanistan now. The U.S. military campaign is now in its month period. It's been going on for almost a month. ABC's John McCarthy is at the Pentagon. John, first we learned late today that a U.S. helicopter's gone down inside Afghanistan. Enemy fire, bad weather, what?
Peter, they are now saying it was not shot down, but it went down in quite bad weather. It was a 2-helicopter formation. One of them crash-landed. The second one was able to make a landing and recover the crew members. There were 4 in the helicopter. One of them was seriously injured, we are told. He is now receiving medical attention. All of the people have now gotten out of Afghanistan. It did go down in Taliban-controlled territory, so it was a great concern to the U.S. There is now a plan afoot to send in some fighter aircraft to try to destroy the downed helicopter with our own fire.
John, talk a little bit about the bombing campaign against the Taliban in the north. The Pentagon says it's been grinding down the Taliban on that front line with the Northern Alliance. If true, what do they expect from the Northern Alliance next?
What they are waiting for is the Northern Alliance to finally assemble its troops and to actually begin a two-fronted assault on Taliban positions.
And very quickly, where do they expect them to go?
One of them in Mazar Sharif, which is in the northern part of the country, and the other 40 miles from the capital, Kabul.
Many thanks, John. John McWethy at the Pentagon tonight. Two other items from overseas. There's a new report in the medical journal The Lancet, which says that Russia is heading for a tuberculosis epidemic. 1 in 6 Russians already has TB. And in Israel today, there was one huge funeral. Thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews buried their spiritual leader, Rabbi Eliezer Menachem Shak. He was 107 years old. He was immensely influential in Israel, and he helped bring the right-wing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to power in 1996. About 400,000 people showed up today. In the Western Caribbean, Tropical Storm Michelle has now become a hurricane, heading for Cuba now with winds of 80 miles an hour. Forecasters say it will get stronger over the weekend and may hit southern Florida by Monday. 12 people died and thousands were forced to flee their homes as the storm system moved across Central America and the Caribbean. When we come back, did New York's mayor break his promise to recover the firefighters' bodies?
They say it's not about money. Then what is it about? It's all about money.
Demonstrations and arrests at the site of the World Trade Center. Tonight, we'll also take a closer look inside the Taliban's capital of Kandahar, our reporter's journey to a city under siege. And at the end of the broadcast tonight, some music that celebrates the country and also, at a time like this, may unite it.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Kellogg's.
Women want you to believe they have to suffer to stay in shape. But what about Kellogg's Special K? Does that look like suffering to you? Delicious, lightly toasted flakes and only 110 calories? Doesn't sound so bad to me. Maybe it's time for me to do the Special K thing.
Kellogg's Special K. Looking good never tasted so great.
If your pencils look like mine did, there's something you can do. Ask your doctor if the Nicotrol inhaler is right for you. Or for more information, call 1-800-INHALER. Call today.
No can, no fork, no grill. It's the easiest way to a juicy grilled meal your cat can't resist. New from Whiskas.
I do enjoy the pleasures of the grill.
I can see that. Whiskas, what cats want.
If you have a little difficulty bathing or care for someone who does, take comfort.
Take comfort, take comfort. There's Comfort Bath, take comfort.
Comfort Bath. Thick as a washcloth, disposable Comfort Bath can be microwaved for a warm, soothing bath. And Comfort Bath won't dry out skin like soap.
There's Comfort Bath, take comfort.
Look for Comfort Bath at your drugstore.
Presenting the unshakable confidence of the best holding C-Bond denture adhesive ever. New C-Bond denture adhesive. A unique comfort thin seal with 3 powerful adhesives holds your dentures comfortably all day. C-Bond. No ooze, no mess like creams. Easy cleanup. The best holding C-Bond ever.
In New York City today, a dozen firefighters were arrested in the ruins of the World Trade Center. They were demonstrating against a decision to reduce the number of workers at the site who are searching for human remains. With a story that surprised many people, ABC's Bill Blakemore.
We want our brothers to come out of this site and back to their families as they should be.
The firefighters, hundreds of them, were furious.
Bring them home! Bring them home!
They object to Mayor Giuliani's decision to remove most firefighters working on the site. Firefighters say the mayor wants to speed up the demolition to help city business.
Pearl Harbor is a sacred site. This is a sacred site, except it's downtown Manhattan. It's expensive real estate. It has to be rebuilt immediately.
To the firemen, this is sacred ground and will be for some time. They lost 343 of their fellows here, 250 of whom are still buried in the rubble.
Scoop and dump. They cart it all off to the dump. And then do the dump, you can sift through it. Like you were looking for, I don't know what, a family heirloom or something? These are people down there.
Fights broke out when the firefighters pushed through police lines to get to ground zero.
Get out, PD!
12 firefighters were arrested.
You don't get to violate the law, and you don't get to punch New York City police officers. For that, you go to jail.
At the end of the day, Mayor Giuliani said firefighters will be allowed to recover remains when they're found. That the only reason he's keeping them off the ruins is that the rubble is now dangerously unstable.
And if you don't reorganize it and professionalize it, in the name of trying to find human remains, you're going to kill more people. And I'm not going to have that on my conscience.
New York's fire commissioner at the end of the day said he agrees with the mayor and apologized to the police on behalf of his department. Bill Blakemore, ABC News, New York.
Several items in the national briefing tonight. First to California again. A federal appeals court there has ruled that the state's 3 strikes law causes unconstitutional, cruel, and unusual punishment. The law imposes a life sentence on people convicted of 3 felonies. The case in question was a man who got 50 years for shoplifting. Today's ruling could lead to hundreds of challenges from prisoners who have received long or life sentences for petty crimes. The Justice Department has reached a settlement with Microsoft, which a federal court had ruled was an illegal monopoly. Microsoft must share some information with its rivals so it does not abuse its power, and it must also give government monitors full access to its internal records. The company's competitors say today the deal will not prevent Microsoft from extending its grip on the computer business. And in Massachusetts, well, they were not witches after all. The governor has signed a bill officially exonerating 5 women who were hanged during the Salem witch trials more than 300 years ago. When we come back, we'll take a closer look inside the Taliban stronghold, life in the city of Kandahar under siege. And later in the broadcast tonight, the current popularity of patriotic music. Call it soundtrack for the times.
$29, $30.
Now at Red Lobster, you can get 30 mouth-watering shrimp for just $9.99. Red Lobster, go overboard.
Reading to the kids at the library is the highlight of Fred's week. But some days, his COPD keeps him from being there. Chronic bronchitis or emphysema associated with COPD can keep you from doing simple things.
But now taking Ceravent helps me take fuller breaths.
Nothing can reverse COPD, but taking Ceravent twice a day can help improve your lung function around the clock. Ceravent should not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms or be taken more than twice a day. Some people may experience increased blood pressure, heart rate, or changes in heart rhythm. Ceravent is a prescription medicine and may not be right for everyone. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure, or take MAOIs or tricyclic antidepressants. Ask your doctor if Ceravent is right for you.
And start taking fuller breaths.
Don't get that, Frank.
Hello? Baxter!
Crunchy Meow Mix seafood middles. Mackerel and tuna flavors make it taste so good. Cats ask for it. By name.
These roses need help. Like when Raymond's constipated.
Maureen!
Phillips helps his body work more naturally to relieve constipation. Gently and stimulant-free like nature intended. Sometimes nature needs help. Phillips, the comfortable way.
I'm every man.
And every woman who ever suffered from frequent, persistent heartburn.
If you've treated your heartburn and changed your diet, but it comes back 2 or more days a week, then you may know about the burning pain of acid reflux disease.
But there's something about acid reflux that I didn't know.
Over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't.
But today, there's a purple pill called Nexium. It's from the makers of Prilosec. Just 1 prescription Nexium a day gives many people complete resolution of heartburn symptoms.
That could mean complete heartburn relief.
And importantly, Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can determine if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. So talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and for a free trial certificate for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at Taliban territory. There's no way to get a comprehensive look at Afghanistan these days. We and you are dependent on the Pentagon's daily briefing and occasional Taliban reporting. But it's a big country, as we've said before, the size of Texas. And there is a lot going on we have no knowledge of. We were fortunate this week to have our reporter Dan Harris on a trip organized by the Taliban to Kandahar. It was a trip with limitations, but it was a closer look. Dan is back in Pakistan now, and tonight he filed this.
We arrived at night, a spine-rattling ride down a single, mangled road into a city under siege. By day, we discovered it's a city that's crowded and vibrant, and with its donkey carts and dirt roads, feels like it's from another age. Kandahar is the Taliban capital. We sometimes had trouble taking pictures downtown, not because the Taliban guides stopped us, but because we were mobbed by the curious. It's overwhelming, really. So what's your name?
My name is Nurullah.
Say that again.
Nurullah.
It happened everywhere, even at this gas station. It's not that they're not bitter about the almost daily U.S. bombing. They simply don't blame individual Americans. Bye. We were always in the company of young Taliban soldiers, good-natured and well-armed. They put us up in these guest houses and fed us meals cooked by a chef who had lost his arm fighting the Russians. This soldier says they treated us well because we were guests, and we were getting their story out to the world. By their story, they meant U.S. bombs killing innocent civilians. But we also wanted to know what they thought about September 11th. While no one condoned the terror attacks, everyone from the man on the street, and by the way, there are almost no women on the street, to the top brass said no to handing over bin Laden. Tayyib Agha, 25 years old, chief aide to the Taliban supreme leader, called bin Laden a freedom fighter.
We are not ready to hand over such a Muslim to foreigners, especially to Americans who are presently killing our innocent people.
Most people, however, preferred more pleasant conversation. Before we left, one Taliban soldier smiled and said he wanted to leave with us and go to America. Dan Harris, ABC News, Kandahar.
When we come back, our final item in the broadcast, the military music man, more in demand than ever.
I feel like it's crazy here. I'm not always sure who's going to show up for dinner and when. I found this new kind of dinner roll from Pillsbury. I just take out what I need from the freezer and bake them up in minutes. Fresh, hot rolls when I need them.
In the freezer?
I don't know what I'd do without them.
Wonder what's going on in your local public schools? Take a look.
Teachers, parents, and support professionals are working together to make learning come alive. Teachers inspire our kids to reach new heights, whether it's helping students master the alphabet or explore new worlds on the computer. Our teachers are leading the way. Today, more than ever, we need public schools that work for every child and to teach the values that make America strong.
How many 1-liter bottles would you have to buy to equal the amount of water you get from one pure faucet mount? About 378. Pure faucet mount filters. Pure water made easy.
I'll never watch TV instead of doing homework or hide laundry under my bed. I'll be the best dog if you give me what I need.
You've got one chance to raise a healthy puppy. Introducing new Purina One brand large breed puppy formula. Purina has created the first and only puppy foods with a nutrient proven to help reduce the percentage of body fat during growth. So large breed puppies grow lean and healthy. And research shows these puppies need less fat and more love. Purina One, second to none.
First, my wife got me the Wonder Pill, and our love life is through the roof. Then she gave me this. Do you know what it takes for a man my age to get into the astrological cow position?
Dad?
That's when she got me Flexinu with a natural COX-2 inhibitor plus glucosamine and chondroitin. Makes me feel like my college days.
Honey, tonight, page 88. Late donkey in spring.
Introducing Flexinu, a natural COX-2 inhibitor plus glucosamine and chondroitin for joint health.
Super Polygrip
holes for the whole day. I never worry about my dentures moving, and I can eat foods now that I never could eat before. Eating an apple is a wonderful experience now. Super Polygrip really has given me my confidence back.
Your eyes need nutrition as well as the rest of your body. So Centrum and Centrum Silver added lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Now your eyes, your toes, and everything in between are covered by Centrum and Centrum Silver. More complete from A to Zinc.
Coming up next on KT News, find out what security plans are in effect to keep Portland's bridges and you safe. Also, a 2-year-old Springfield child being tested for exposure to anthrax. And tips to make pounding the pavement a little easier during tough economic times. Next on KT News at 6:30. We'll see you then.
Sunday, a This Week exclusive. General Tommy Franks, the commander of our troops in Afghanistan, with the inside line on Operation Enduring Freedom. Sunday.
Finally this evening, love of country set to music. Historians of music say that patriotic songs come back into fashion whenever the country needs them. And we all know that music in many forms reaches places that speeches cannot. Here's ABC's Dean Reynolds.
The Stars and Stripes forever!
In the weeks after September 11th, the nation has been listening for inspiration. Together with the run on flags and books on Americana, a particular kind of music has been in demand. No one is more attuned to this than Al McCree, whose company Altissimo markets the recordings of military bands.
We are providing a kind of music that is very healing and nurturing and also unifying at the same time.
McCree is a Vietnam vet. He wanted to go to Afghanistan, but at 54, he's too old.
And so in many respects, this is my way, this is my contribution to that effort.
Before September 11th, McCree sold his music mostly to gift shops. But with so many moving tributes lately, people have been searching for these old tunes.
It expresses an emotion which often cannot be expressed in words.
All of his material was archived in military warehouses, but until McCree went to market, it was rarely available for commercial release.
Working out of his home near Nashville, Al McCree expects to make twice as much money in 2001 as he did last year, and yet he has mixed emotions about his success.
I'd give it all back. I'd give back the entire company and all of the profits we made to get one life back.
McCree believes this music can help the nation deal with loss, heal the soul, but also stir the spirit to never give up. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Nashville.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Later this evening, ABC News begins a new program on the network. Our intention in the coming weeks will be to record what life is like for all kinds of Americans since the attack on the country. And we hope that over time it will be an evolving portrait of America in this second year of the new century. Next week on World News, protecting the American stockpile of chemical weapons, the enormous cost of security to business, and women fleeing Afghanistan in search of tolerance. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good weekend. Good night.
On America 01, you'll meet Gabby. She may be the Taliban's worst nightmare, and you'll relive